Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of the Ruby Girl Talk with your favorite Ruby Girl, Dr. K. Hey, in the house. Oh my goodness. I am so ecstatic today because number one, it's time for the Ruby Girl Show. And I know so many people get blessed just listening to my guests, their stories. And tonight, we're going to talk about being gracefully broken. So, before we get into the show and everything, what I'm gonna do for Dr. Julie is that I'm gonna share it on her page. I only do this for guests that I like. So don't tell the other guests because they're gonna expect the same thing, the same type of service too. But let me go and share this video because I want her people to be able to participate. It's not fair that y'all get all of Dr. Julie by yourself. Y'all know that ain't fair. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna level the playing field. So hold on just 1 minute. And while I'm doing this, what I want y'all to do, I want y'all to share. I want y'all to press that nice little free button and just share this to your page, share it so that everybody else can watch it. But before we go into the show, I always like to do my personal $1 million commercial for y'all. So, welcome to the Ruby Girl Talk Show. I am Dr. K, as you may know. Ruby Girl comes from Proverbs 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? Because her price is far above the price of a ruby. So, ladies, this special is for you. It makes you rare, virtuous, and say it with me, valuable. Yes. So go to rubygirl.net, get you some ebooks, and please get you a t shirt so you can rock the brand and represent the movement. We're bringing back respect to the woman by using the Ruby Girl movement to give women a platform to be able to voice and tell their stories and be liberated. All right, so let's get into the show. Dr. Julie, welcome to the Ruby Girl Talk. Give us a hot smoking 30-second introduction.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Dr. Julie Lee. I'm a family nurse practitioner, an Army veteran, a speaker, a wellness advocate, and author of the book Gracefully Broken, Finding Beauty in the Cracks. My passion is helping others heal emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically by just reminding them that brokenness does not disqualify them from purpose. You cannot um, actually feel and be who you are if you're not walking in your purpose. And that is just me, my opinion. So I wrote Gracefully Broken just because I had some things going on in my life and I just wanted to be able to share it with other women and I didn't want to suffer in silence. And so I am honored to be here and so just thankful that I'm able to talk to you and you're open to what I have to say. So God bless you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You sound so polite and professional. I truly love it. So we're gonna get into this book discussion tonight. Did y'all notice she said she's a speaker, she's an author. So when she says she's a speaker, she's willing to come and speak at your event, or you could just create a whole event just for her. I'm quite sure she's just such
Mm.
an excellent speaker that she can hold her own as a keynote speaker. Am I right, Dr. Julie?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
So tonight we're discussing your book, Gracefully Broken. And I thought about something today. I say grace, when we think about grace and we think about broken, we don't think of that in the same sentence. It seemed like it shouldn't go together. Where's the grace if we're
Mhm.
broken? Well, what I like, you say your book, Gracefully Broken, and you said finding beauty in the cracks. So to write a book like this, I know you had to have experienced a moment of being broken. Would you mind sharing it with us?
Sure. So, one of the hardest seasons, excuse me, one of the hardest seasons of my life was realizing that even though I had success professionally, I was still carrying emotional wounds personally. I experienced heartbreak, disappointment, a lot of self doubts, and moments where I questioned my worth. I felt like I was pouring into everyone else while silently just falling apart on the inside. But What I learned is that brokenness can become the place where healing begins. The cracks in our lives are not proof that we have failed, they are proof that we have survived.
Wow, that's powerful. Can you repeat that for the people in the back and the people that's just logging in all late?
Yes.
Just that
So,
last part.
the last part. So, the cracks in our lives are not proof that we failed, they are proof that we have survived.
And that's a perspective. And you have to have a different perspective when you're going
Yes.
through something. Your perspective
Yes.
is going to determine if it makes you bitter, if it makes you better,
Hmm.
if it keeps you in
Hmm.
pain, or it leads you to your purpose. And that's what I like
Yes.
about your book is changing your perspective about what you've been through. We looking at it like, why did I go through this? Oh, I'm so broken. But when we're broken, God is able to put us back together,
Yes. Yes.
stronger and better. We're looking at natural things that once they're broken,
Yes.
they're not good anymore. But with God, once we're broken, that's when we're at our best. That's when He can use us the most.
Yes.
Yeah, so I love that gracefully broken. And look, y'all can go on Amazon and you can get her book. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, but you definitely want to get her book because it's saying something that God wants us to hear. That sometimes the things we go through is because
Hmm.
God is breaking us so that He can
Yes.
heal us. Because you can't, a leg doesn't heal unless it's broken, and then healing has to happen to it. Long as it's whole, it's fine. But so with us, until we broken, then God can come back and just heal us like
Hmm.
He really wants us to do. He can put us together like Humpty Dumpty, but much better. Remember that? So during your period of being broken, when did you stop focusing on pain and started focusing on the purpose?
Well, I think that shift happened when I stopped asking, why is this happening to me? And started asking, what can this pain produce in me? I realized my story was bigger than my suffering. God was using my pain to grow compassion, wisdom, strength, and purpose for me. Once I understood that my healing could help someone else heal, everything changed. My pain became my purpose.
That's good. What I like is that you started focusing outward instead of
Yes.
focusing just on what you were seeing in the mirror. Because we got to realize as we
Yes.
go through our trials and we look in that mirror of life, you shouldn't just see yourself. You should see the people standing behind you that you're going to influence. And that's what you're
Yes.
doing by writing your book because you could have just went through this silently, but
Yeah.
you put
Yeah.
a voice to your pain. Am I right, Dr. Julie?
Yes, you are right. I didn't want to suffer in silence. Although a part of me felt ashamed, I felt afraid, I felt embarrassed, but it was something inside me, and I know it was just God letting me know that you don't have to suffer in silence. And I was just feeling like He wanted to use me to just share my story so other people know you're not by yourself. You never know what somebody's going through.
And I agree with you. God can clean us so good on the outside that we look
Yeah.
like we haven't been bruised, that we haven't been broken. He fills in the cracks with his grace, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
And so when
Mm-hmm.
people see us and we start to give our testimony, that's why it's so unbelievable when people like, you don't look like what you've been through. That's when you know
Yes.
that God has washed you as white as snow. Am I right?
100% right. Yes, you are. Yes.
Okay. So I love your, like I said, I love your book. I love the theme. So when you told me your book, I was more than interested in hearing and having you on my show because I'm like, it's so many people that are
Mm-hmm.
broken now, but they can't
Yes.
reveal that they're broken because they believe in the body of Christ that once you get
Yes.
saved, you have this super glue. That is,
Yes.
and the super glue is the Holy Spirit. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
super glue that holds us together is the Holy
Mm-hmm.
Spirit. But we get broken so that the Holy Spirit can have something to do. Because we
Yes.
walk on this natural earth, things happen. Just like they
Yes.
happen to you, Dr. Julie.
Yes. And I that just made me think, what gracefully broken, it's not just about relationships. It can be about life challenges. It can be about circumstances that have happened in your life that you did not plan on. As a nurse practitioner, I work at a federally qualified health center. And the patients that I see, a lot of them are underserved. They don't have insurance or very little insurance. But I tell you, though, a lot of the patients are so strong in their faith, and it's just unbelievable. They're so strong in their faith, and it just makes me think, sometimes when people are quote unquote broken, like the world thinks that's a bad thing, it's not, because you can find beauty in brokenness, and there is beauty in the cracks.
Amen. It is. It's beautiful. See, we got to understand that God ways, his thoughts are not like ours.
Yes,
Just like he tells us that when a person that's, I would say, saved dies, we're supposed to rejoice. And when a baby come into the
yes,
world, we're supposed to be crying because a baby is coming into trouble and sorrow, but that saint is
yes.
going to a better place. So we think
Mhm.
broken is bad when God is like broken is good. We're like eggs. And once God
Yeah.
cracks us, that's when our yoke, our purpose, our destiny comes
Yes.
out because we have to stop and pause and say, God, help me. What is
Help
it you're trying to
me.
show me? Yes, and what I'm going through.
Yes. Yes. And just in life situations in general, I've learned that I have to decrease so God can increase in my life. And it's when I try to handle things and try to take care of my issues, that's when I screw it all up. So sometimes I just have to say, Lord, most of the time I have to say, Lord, I am going to decrease so you can increase in my life. And that may look different one day from the other, but I'm just learning. I'm not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I am not perfect. No, not at all. But I'm learning through this journey. And for me, it's a journey. I have not reached like, oh yeah, I got it all together. No, this is a journey. And on this journey, I'm okay with being gracefully broken because I know there's beauty in the cracks.
So, do you think after you were broken, you had more empathy in the area
Mhm.
that you was
Yeah.
tested in than before? That is more understanding that comes when you see somebody else being broken the same way you were?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it just makes me think, a lot of times I got to do self reflection. And I got to say, Julie, what's going on the inside of you? What's going on in your heart? Are you treating people the way you want to be treated? And if the answer is no, I got to do some real deep diving inside. And I have to just realize that, God put us on this earth so we can commune and love on each other and love one another and help each other. But sometimes that doesn't happen. And then I have to question myself, well, how am I going to react to that? How am I going to respond? Am I going to clap back? Am I going to match that person's energy if it's negative? And I'm learning, no, no, mm-mm. Show love, show kindness, show the love of God.
You know, it's
And
funny
I'm learning.
funny you said that. I listened to this video this week of this
Mm-hmm.
pastor. He said he had went to a hotel, and when he checked in, he found out his room didn't have water. So he called the front desk, and this lady answered. He said, "Hey, I don't have any water in my hotel room." And she was like, "Yeah, I know." And he was like, "What do you mean? You know?" She was like, "Yeah, we know the water's not running in there." And she didn't offer no solution. So he got nasty with her. He told her, he was like, "You about the dumbest person I ever met." And he said, "Your mama need to go find," he said something, "your brains," or something like that. And you know what the woman said? She said, I remember when you came to my college and you spoke to us, and she said, I had really wanted to meet you. So I was excited that you were staying in the hotel. And this man was humbled all the way down. He said he came to the lobby and got on his knees and said, can you
Oh my
please
God.
forgive me? So it turns out
Wow.
he went back to the college to speak. He was talking to the young lady's manager and said, oh, she told me she met you in a hotel. So what's the first thing you think she said? That he was all nasty to her and stuff? Said she did not even slander this man. And Dr. Julie, I started thinking, I said, that's how we're supposed to respond to when
Yes.
people come at us with arrows. We're supposed to
Yes.
put up our shield of faith and believe and speak in faith. She could have been right.
Yes.
I heard you preach and you nasty like this, but she stayed in the character of Christ. And that's what
Wow.
we got to learn with gracefully
Yes.
broken. When we're going through, no matter how people treat us, we have to stay in the character of Christ. And do you know this
Mhm.
happened years ago? But this man, when he was telling the story, it still brought tears to his eyes. And most pastors and leaders would never tell that story. And then he
Mhm.
found out from her manager that when she was born, her mother abandoned her. She didn't even know who her mother was. So this man like double hurt her. She
Wow.
had every reason in the world to come back sharper than he was. But she took
Wow.
the humble route like this man hadn't pierced her heart, like this man hadn't gracefully broken her. Now that's
Wow.
gracefully broken, a true
Yes.
example. So so
Wow.
we're gonna take a break on that note while the audience like, oh my God. And I'm going to give you 1 minute to say whatever you want. I'm going to let you have my show and I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to see what they're saying about us. Go ahead, Dr. Julie.
Ah. So I am just so blessed and honored to be here. Um, I am one of those type of people that I'm shy and I'm an introvert, but I notice that when I'm talking about certain subjects, especially this one and Gracefully Broken and just how God has just been so amazing in my life, that introvert, that shyness, it's not there. And so a lot of times when I talk to people and I speak and I say, I'm really an introvert, right? They'd be like, no. I'd be like, yes, that my comfort zone is scale back, go in my shell. But when I'm talking about how God has been great to me, oh, it's a whole new person. And I just come out and you would never know I'm an introvert. So don't tell nobody. I'm really an introvert. We'll keep that between us.
So, if somebody wanted to get in contact with you, how would they get in contact with you, Dr. Julie?
Oh, thank you for asking that. So, I have a wellness brand. So, through my wellness brand, it's called Pure Wellness. And I'm so passionate about helping people focus on whole person wellness, mind, body, spirit. I truly believe that when we nourish ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually, we begin to reclaim our power and our peace. And most importantly, remember this: your scars do not make you less valuable. They tell the story of your resilience. So I do have a Facebook site, and this business is just growing, and it's new. So but it's growing, and it's Pure Wellness. That's PureWellness. And I'm on Facebook, so you can just look up Pure Wellness on Facebook, and that's my wellness brand. And it is up and coming, so I am just excited to share and see what God has in store just for everybody, because God has something in store. Sometimes you just got to sit back and listen, and not only listen, but obey. So, yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Pure Wellness. That's PureWellness.
All right. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all go out there and friend her on Facebook and find out what pure wellness is. And I'm glad that you mentioned this because I decided today to get back on my health journey. Not my weight
Ah,
loss journey, but my health journey because I
health,
realized I'm getting to
yes.
that age where we really have to, when you're younger, it kind of just flows along. You got years, but now I'm
Yeah.
at those years that I kept pushing back, and now I have to get into some pure wellness. So, hey,
Yeah.
let's talk about who's out here watching. We have Darlene in the house. She said, "Good evening, good evening, Darlene." We got Dr. L. Michelle Rames out there. I hope I said her name right. She said, "Hey everyone." And something we were talking about. She said, "Valuable." She said, "Amen. Gracefully Broken. Get the book. Amazing, great book, Dr. Julie. You got a cheerleader out there in the chat." And then we got the great and famous Dr. Anissa in the chat. She is your publisher. She said, "Hello,
Yeah.
Dr. Julie and Dr. K." Hey, Dr. Anissa. When I tell you Dr. Anissa is amazing on the go watch.
Yes.
If you connected to her, she keeps you on point. She keeps you like
Yes.
raising the level. And when it comes to publishing, she's gonna make sure she give you A1 service. So
Yeah.
Chosen Pen, we giving her a free commercial tonight. If you're looking to publish your book, Chosen Pen is a great publishing
Yeah.
company. All right, y'all, that was our break. I thank you for everybody that's watching. Please share, please share. I thank y'all that take moments and remember that my talk show come on and y'all tune in to make sure that you watch. I really appreciate it, especially when we have a guest like Dr. Julie, which is talking about something that we all have in common. Everybody has been broken. Everybody, God had to take our pieces and put them back together. And the good thing about God putting us back together, He doesn't miss a piece, and
No,
he
he
put
did.
it back even better than what it is before. So if you've been broken, broken hearted, broken in trust, broken in whatever, just remember that God is a great knitter because he knit us together in the womb. So if he put his hands on us in the womb, he is familiar with every little piece of us. And so you're going to be okay. Get the book so you can be better, because sometimes God brings tools into our lives, books and videos and songs and different stuff like that, just to bring healing. So this is the second part of the Ruby Girl Talk Show. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the book. We were a little vague in the beginning because we wanted y'all to hold on. We wanted to pique y'all interest. We wanted y'all to be as curious as cats. So now we're here to satisfy your curiosity. So let's talk about Gracefully Broken. Tell us what's inside the book. And so I'm gonna ask you like quick fire questions. Is there steps to help? I want you to answer all these questions. You ready? Okay. Is there steps to help a person heal? Do you share how a person can reclaim their self worth after heartbreak or failure? So let's talk about
All right. So, yes, this book is very transparent and heartfelt. I share real life experiences, lessons learned, and then just reflections about healing, identity, faith, self worth, and resilience. It's actually designed to help readers understand that they are still valuable, even after disappointment, divorce, rejection, failure, trauma. They are still valuable. The book encourages people to, number one, acknowledge the pain. You have to acknowledge the pain. Number two, stop hiding behind your brokenness. Don't hide behind your brokenness. Number three, forgive themselves. So the book really encourages people to forgive themselves, give yourself grace, and love on yourself. And then number four, the book also encourages people to like rediscover their identity, because a lot of times we're growing. And so the you at the age of 20 is probably not the you at the age of 50. So you have to start rediscovering your identity. And when you rediscover your identity, then that's going to help you understand like some of the decisions you make and how you respond to things. And that's one of the things I had to do, rediscover myself after being in so many roles: a soldier, a wife, a nurse practitioner, a mom, a daughter, a sister. Like you wear so many hats, so many roles. Sometimes, many times, maybe just for me, I felt like I was losing myself. I was losing my identity. And I had to step back and say, okay, so who am I without all these roles? Who am I when I retired from the Army after 22 years? Who am I when I'm no longer that Lieutenant Colonel Lee in the Army that has been who? Who am I when I'm no longer serving in the areas that I've served in the past? So rediscover your identity. That book is, I wanted to help people rediscover their identity. And then number five, the book encourages people to like rebuild their confidence with grace. Yeah, rebuild your confidence with grace. It's not about pretending that life is perfect. It's more about learning how to heal while still carrying the scars.
Mm,
Yeah. So
wow.
that's what that book is about. And it's for anybody and everybody who has ever felt like they have disappointed anybody themselves, anybody that has felt like, oh my gosh, I think I'm a failure, or oh my gosh, I did not do this right, I did not do this perfect. So this book is for everybody who's had any type of disappointment in their life, physically, emotionally, mentally. This book is for you.
You know what I noticed that you said a lot of was identity.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when we think about what we've been through that's broken us, it created a new identity in us. We might not
Yeah.
trust like we did before. We move differently. And then whatever, if you had a relationship with that person, you're either rebuilding it or you severing that relationship for your
Yeah.
peace. So we still try to operate in that BT, before trauma,
Yeah.
BT before brokenness, but we don't
Yeah.
understand that the person that all that trauma whatever has created a totally different person. It's
Yes.
just like if
Yes.
somebody stick nails in the fence, even if you pull the nails out the fence, that
Mm-hmm.
impression, those holes are still there. And that's what brokenness and trauma and trials do to us. But the
Yeah.
thing is, we have to identify with who we are now. We try to
Yes.
go back to who we were. You're not that person. You're
No.
not. And sometimes the younger person in us want to be appeased. The younger person in us want to be healed and protected, but you can't do that because now I'm grown and
Yeah.
I'm adult, and that little person got to realize inside of you, that little girl, that little boy, for some of the men that's out there watching, got to understand your time has passed. I now I'm
Yeah.
adult, and because I'm adult, I put away childish things. I put away
Mm.
childish behavior. I get healed from my child trauma. But we don't understand that even at 99 years old, you can still be operating in something that happened to you when you was 4 years old, making decisions from it, operating your life from trauma that happened to you back then.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I
Mm-hmm.
like when you was talking about identity, because there is such a stolen identity crisis
Yes.
that's going
Yes.
on. People are so confused when God has made everything black and white for a reason. God gives us identifiers to who our
Yes.
identity is. But when we become
Yes.
gracefully broken, what happens, Dr. Julie?
Oh, when you become gracefully broken, you die to yourself. You allow God to redefine you. In my book, I talk about death without a funeral. Because sometimes when you don't know your identity and you feel like you failed, it almost feels like death, but there's no funeral because it's a tearing away of pieces and parts of you that no longer serve you well. And sometimes you just want to hold on to it, but you got to let that go. I'll look at it as God is pruning you. He's getting you ready to walk in the victory that He has prepared for you. So He has to take some things out of your life. He has to maybe take away some jobs. He maybe has to take away some relationships. He may have to take away something else. But just know when you trust and believe in God, and maybe I'm speaking for me, He is going to turn things around. And so I'm just so grateful for that. And you mentioned perspectives, and I've really had to change my perspective. And I had to, what we said in the military one time, hunt the good stuff. Even though bad things are, I feel like bad things are happening in my life, what's good out of this? What's good out of this situation? What was good out of my 22 years in the Army? Oh, I had so many good things. Of course, I had things that I really didn't like, but at the end of the day, those good things, those positive things, that's what I focus on. Those are the memories that I play in my mind. I don't play the negative things because, your mind, ooh, you can have thousands of thoughts. Research has shown you can have anywhere maybe like 30,000 thoughts a day. Like we got so many thoughts going on in our mind. And so if you don't capture those thoughts and line them up to the word of God, maybe this is just for me. When I don't do that, I'm all over the place. And so identity is very important. And for me, I had to do some self reflection and I'm still learning myself. I'm not there yet. I've decided to enjoy the journey and be gracefully broken.
Right. And you're right. So I want someone to put in the chat, I'm shifting my perspective. I want you to think about
Ooh,
what you're going through right now, and you looking
yeah.
at it one way, from it's like a camera
Yeah.
angle. If the camera's from the back, it's gonna capture the back and you'll never see the person facial
Yeah.
expressions. And if it's from the front, you don't see the back. I want you to switch your angle
Mm.
of what you're looking at this issue. Shift your perspective, because where you think you're being defeated, where you think somebody might be getting over on you, or whatever you're going through, you might think you're losing something. You could possibly be gaining that friend that turned on you. It could possibly God revealing something. That husband that's not acting right while you praying about him changing. God might be like, I just need you to change.
Yes.
I got him. You're praying so hard for him, but if you change, if he don't change, you gonna be all right. So
Exactly.
shift your perspective. Put in the chat. I need somebody who's serious. Shift. I'm shifting my perspective. I'm
Ah,
looking
that's
at
good.
what I'm going through differently. I'm looking at it like, am I going through this for somebody else? And I'm sure another
Mm.
little story that I read. I read about this lady. She was raped by this horrible man.
Mm-hmm.
This man was so horrible, like his mom, whatever. Wouldn't nobody really pray for him because they like, I know he's hell bound. God began to lay on this woman's heart to pray for him. And
Mm-hmm.
she just couldn't understand why she went through it. Now, I'm not saying this is why things like this happen. This is what this lady said. She said, God laid on her heart. Now I have somebody that's praying for his soul. She said, for some reason, she was so burdened to forgive him and just pray for salvation for this man. So we never know if what we go through, always look at it. How can I help somebody else? That's how you overcome. That's
Yeah.
how we become winners. That's how God triumph and guys get the glory based upon our perspective. So,
Mm-hmm.
on that note, how can a person start personalizing the trauma? This is my trauma. And it's something, and a trauma, especially that somebody else inflicted on them. This person did
Mm-hmm.
something to you, but you just have owned this trauma like you did it.
Yeah. So one of the biggest lessons I've learned in this is how someone treats you is often a reflection of them and not your value. Hurt people often hurt people. And when someone betrays or rejects or wounds you, it's easy to internalize it and believe you're not enough. But healing begins when you separate your identity from what happened to you. Trauma may be part of your story, but it's not your identity. You have to stop allowing someone else's brokenness to define your worth. And your value was never dependent on how another person treated you.
Wow. Somebody just got freed on that. Somebody that used to hear somebody tell them how they were not going to be
Yeah.
anything, or told them negative things, or tore them down, or they were in a narcissist relationship that
Mm-hmm,
wrecked their
mm-hmm,
mind and shook their mind. You just set them free because the
mm-hmm,
words that that person spoke to them was the words coming out of that
mm-hmm.
person heart, not how they
Yeah.
actually saw you, but just how their heart is. And like
Mm-hmm.
you say, we're gonna use it for your book. Broken people try to break other people. There we
People.
go. We're gonna rephrase that. This the new 2026 phrase. Broken people try to break other
Break other
people.
people. I like that.
Yes, and you know what? It is so true when they say
Now,
misery
love
loves company. I'm
company.
like, where did these little sayings like that come from? Because they're so true. Even today, you see a miserable person and they're going to do everything they can to get you as miserable as they are.
Mm-hmm,
But you're right.
mm-hmm.
We got to stop personalizing that trauma like it's just suited for us. That's that
Yeah.
person trauma. That's them. They're just trying to traumatize you because somebody traumatized them. And so instead of them having empathy and saying, I'm not going to ever make somebody feel like I feel, what happened? They
Mhm.
became trained in traumatizing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like some people that's been molested, they
Yeah.
molest others. And people be like, why would you molest somebody when you know how it made you feel? Somebody trained
Yes.
them. Instead of them coming out of it with empathy, they came out of it trained.
Yeah. Yeah.
So give us three ways we can find beauty after being gracefully broken.
All right. Three ways. Number one, I would say accept the cracks instead of hiding them. Your scars are evidence that you have survived. There is beauty in authenticity in healing. So accept the cracks instead of hiding them is number one. Number two would be use your pain to help someone else. When you turn pain into purpose, your story becomes powerful instead of painful. So, number two, use your pain to help somebody else. And then number three, I would say rebuild your relationship with yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Prioritize your healing. And remember that broken seasons do not mean you are broken forever. Yeah, those are the three things. So I'll repeat them. So the first thing would be accept the cracks instead of hiding them. The second thing would be use your pain to help someone else. And the third thing is rebuild your relationship with yourself. And I'm learning that I have to love on myself. I have to give myself grace. I have to give myself compassion. I have to give myself time to heal and not rush the process. And so that sort of reminds me of I was talking to someone one day and we were talking about rebuilding identity and brokenness. And it just made me realize that, you know what? My test is my testimony now. Things that I've gone through. Um, I'm not ashamed. And I don't want to hide it anymore because there's beauty in the cracks. And so all those years and times I've been tested as my testimony, it makes me think about when I was younger. Oh my gosh, I remember this. I was in the third grade and I was just amazed about how the human body works. Our bodies are so amazing. They are made to heal themselves. All these brain cells and everything, our body is beautifully and wonderfully made. So our body is so amazing. So when I was in the third grade, I was just learning about the heart and how the blood pumps in the heart and how it just flows and how that gives life to everything in the body. And so I was looking at that screen and I said, you know what? I want to be a doctor one day. I want to be able to help somebody that's going through. And you know what somebody told me? Somewhere along that journey, you're not smart enough to be a doctor. I make F's in math in elementary school. Like I don't do math in public now, but I was not that smart kid in school. I mean, I made C's and B's and a few A's, but I was on that C range. I may get the B, maybe an A. And so when I was in 11th grade, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna be a nurse. Because for some reason I let somebody convince me, no, you're not smart enough to be a doctor. So I was like, I want to help people, so I'll be a nurse. And I became a nurse, and I was like, I want to learn more. I want to do more. So to make a long story short, did nursing, then became a nurse practitioner, and then decided to get my doctorate degree. And that was something that I did for myself. Like somebody told me way back when that you can't do this. And my thought was, watch me.
Wow.
I can show you
Perspective.
better than I can tell you.
Perspective kicked in.
Yes, yes.
But it's so many people that are great that were told by
Yeah.
people that were
Yeah.
not great. It's different if a doctor told you that. If you think about it, most
Yeah.
people that tell us what we can't be, they're not even what they're telling us we can't be. So it's different.
Exactly.
Yeah, have you ever thought about that? So how would you know the qualifications for being a doctor? What educational level, how smart do I have to be if you're not a doctor yourself?
Exactly.
But we
Exactly.
listen to those
Yeah.
people because we're giving them permission to speak into our lives. Sometimes you have to take away your permission, just like when you download an app, they ask for permission. Can we have your microphone? Can we have your camera? And we want to say no, but we want that app. So we just
Exactly.
like, okay, I'll just give you permission, but we don't have to do that with the people that come into
Mhm.
our circle. We don't have to give
Mhm.
everybody permission to speak
Yeah.
into our destiny. The only person that has permission and didn't even ask us, but is gentle with us and still a gentleman with us and gave us free will is Jesus Christ
Yes.
because
Yes.
he created us. So of course he knows everything about us. He don't need
Mm-hmm.
permission. He just asks us to surrender. He just asks us to allow him sometimes to just break us in
Mm-hmm.
certain areas so we can be built better. I think about the $6 million man. After he
Yeah.
was, think about how broken. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was all, I don't know what happened to him, but he was broken in pieces. But once they put him together, he was bionic. He had
Yeah.
superpower. He was everything. So he was better after he was broken. Nobody
Yes.
can match his strength. And that's how you are. After you have been through what you've been through, nobody can match the strength you have because you've been through abuse.
Yeah.
You've been through a job loss. You've been through a divorce. You've been through this. You've been through that. So that's your super strength because you've been through it. And even though it broke you, it didn't break you. It might have
Mm-hmm.
break you. Wait a minute, it broke you, but it didn't break you. Being
Yeah.
breaking. That's not even a word, but tonight it is.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, being breaking, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna make them English people like, where she get that word from?
Yes.
It
We
means
being
that,
breaking.
yeah, being breaking. That's what God is doing. So
Yes.
y'all, it's time for Dr. Julie to give us a 2-minute closeout. I know this was fun. This was so informational. It got us thinking again about how dare us shape our life around some broken person that told us what we couldn't do, like they were God. Like we gave them permission to speak into our life. We did not. They illegally spoke into our life. So now we're gonna cancel. Everybody that's watching, we cancel every negative thing that somebody told us we couldn't do. How dare us listen to some dusty clay person? That can't be everywhere at one time, that don't know
Yes.
everything and not what they told us we couldn't be. You
Yes.
become
Yes.
what I want to be, then you tell me. If you become an
Yes.
author, then you tell me I can't write. You become a doctor and tell Dr. Julie she can't become a doctor. And I bet the person that told you that, do they have their doctorate?
No.
Hmm. All right, end the story. Give us 2 minutes close out. I enjoyed our chat tonight. Dr.
Oh,
Julie, you're on
no.
the mic again. 2-minute close out.
All right. So that just reminds me. I do remember somebody saying, don't allow somebody's opinion of you to be your destiny. And that really spoke to me when it comes to identity. And I just want to share that with somebody. That was for somebody. I don't know who that was for, but hopefully somebody got something out of that. But gracefully broken, it means understanding that even our most shattered moments, God can still create something beautiful. The cracks, they don't disqualify us. Sometimes they are exactly where the light gets in. So allow yourself to be gracefully broken and allow your light to shine through the cracks. It has been such a blessing and honor to be able to spend this time with you. Thank you so much. And I love you all.
Well, thank you, Dr. Julie. Thank you for giving us, shifting our perspective. because somebody is going to think about what they're going through, what they've been through, and they're
Yeah.
going to look at it totally different. You even help me shift my perspective on different things that I'm going through. Even something that happened to me, I would say a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when something hurt you because you talk
Yeah.
about it to everybody.
Yeah.
You
And
be
then you
like
say
in
it
your
don't matter.
yeah, and then you say, I'm not
Matter.
going to talk about it again. And then you talk about it again. And you were like, wow, I don't have control to stop talking about it because it hurts you so
Yeah.
much that you can't go to the person and tell them that they
Mm,
hurt you because it's still inside of you to have that reconciliation with them, you know? And you be like, if I tell them, then we're gonna break fellowship. But sometimes people don't
mm-hmm.
know that they have hurt you. And you have
Mm-hmm.
to tell them so they can be aware of it.
Mm,
Sometimes people are so focused on themselves that they don't stop and think like maybe she's going through something. Maybe
yeah.
he's going through something. He or
Mhm.
she might show up like nothing is ever wrong, but I don't know anybody but
Mhm.
even Jesus Christ was persecuted. He was a
You're right.
perfect guy, a perfect God in flesh, and he
Yeah.
still had issues. He lost a friend that he had to cry over. He had
Yeah.
disciples that he had to just keep telling them over and over about their disbelief. They walked with Jesus, and they still was like, "Jesus,
Yeah.
the ship is sinking. Help us." So what if it's sinking? You got Jesus on the ship. I'm quite sure you're going to heaven by default. Jesus is on the ship with me, God. So he
Yeah.
he allowed this ship to sink. So I need to get into heaven because your son allowed this to happen. But
Yeah.
anyway, just leaving y'all a smile on y'all face. I want to thank y'all so much for watching the Ruby Girl Talk. I have enjoyed listening to Dr. Julie. She's a beautiful person with a beautiful
Yeah.
personality. And even looking at her, you be like, broken? Where broken? What? Broken? How? Because God's grace is
Wow.
so sufficient for us. Dr.
Yes.
Julie, that is just a reminder. God's grace is sufficient. We want
Yeah.
things removed, but some things we got to gracefully go through. We got to
Mm-hmm.
gracefully feel. So I want y'all to tune in next week, 8:30. This went so fast.
Yes.
At 8:30, same channel, I will be back with another guest. So me and Dr. Julie, what we're going to do, we're going to sign off on Facebook. We're going to give you your night back. Please, you still got time to share. Please like this video. Please make some comments, get my algorithm flowing. All right, y'all be blessed. We're signing off. Good night, everybody on Facebook.
Good night.